Good morning, Bulldogs. Hopefully by now you have finished or come very close to finishing Peter Pan. If you haven't, that is what you need to really put some effort into today. You have a novel assessment tomorrow, and we're going to come back and talk about that in just a moment. So today, we're going to work on making connections with our text. So think about Peter Pan and everything that you've read. And you have probably read the announcement. After all, I mean, you're watching this video. So what you're going to do is in the discussion board, you're going to create a brand new post. Just like you've done in the past, the discussion's already open, okay? And you have one of these questions or sentences to fill in and give me a complete paragraph. So it needs to be 5 to 7 sentences, okay? So you're going to make a connection with Peter Pan. And if you remember, the types of connections that you can make in a reading, you can connect the text to another text. Maybe Peter Pan reminds you of another story that you've read, okay? You can make a text-to-text connection. You could also make a text-to-self connection. Did anything in Peter Pan remind you of something that happened with you personally when you were younger, or even now? Maybe you are dreading growing up. Maybe you don't want to. You want to stay a kid forever. That's an example. Or you could do text to world. Is there anything in Peter Pan similar to that that is happening around the world today? That would be a text to world connection, something that kind of helps you remember things. And your sentence, when you're making your connection, can be, doesn't have to be, this is just a starter to help you get the ball rolling. Peter Pan reminds me of something because something. So if Peter Pan reminded me of Harry Potter, I'm going to say Peter Pan reminds me of Harry Potter because I'm going to explain that. Okay. Again, it doesn't. That was an example. But if you can't make a connection with the whole story, if that's troublesome, if you struggle doing that, that's okay. Because Peter Pan, you might not be able to make a connection with the world on. And you may not have ever read a story similar to it before. So in that case, you can make a connection to one of the characters, okay? And that is the second sentence here. I can relate or connect most with Tinkerbell, Captain Hook, Smee, Peter Pan, one of the Lost Boys, because why? And again, that needs to be a complete paragraph, okay? So you are going to select one of these sentences and you are going to give me a complete paragraph in the discussion board, okay? Now, that is all you're doing today, okay? Make sure you are completely finished reading. If you are not, you need to get that way, okay? The links were included with the previous announcement this week, so you need to make sure you're finished reading. Tomorrow is your novel assessment, and I want to take a couple minutes and talk about your novel assessment. It is going to be on a Google form, and you're going to get a grade immediately, but it is going to lock down your browser. So that means you will not be able to open another internet window. You will not be able to, I don't believe you're going to be able to open files while you are taking this assessment, okay? So if you close your computer and reopen the assessment or try to take the assessment again, you will not have a grade. I will not grade an assessment if you've already closed it and reopened it, okay? And if you're wondering why, think about it. I give you 33 questions. If you close down the computer and come back to it an hour later, well, how am I to know if you are rereading the story, searching the internet, or maybe you just didn't want to take the assessment right now? You want to come back to it later, okay? So the first time you open it, that is the assessment you have. If you close it and come back to it later, you will not get a grade. Okay, you will not get a grade. So sit down and take the assessment when you have time to devote to the assessment. There are, I believe, 33 questions, 32 maybe, 32 or 33 questions for Peter Pan. Okay, so I want you guys to take your time, do well. If you score less than a 70, we will have to have a discussion next week about how you're going to correct that assessment. Because it's not like a quizzes where you can just retake it right away. No, there's going to be some more that goes into it. So if you make less than a 70, that's okay. We will connect next week and I will be giving instructions on how to correct that. Okay. So if you have any questions, just shoot me a quick email and I will be here. And just focus on getting your writing done. Again, a complete paragraph. All right. Have a good day, guys.